Hello everyone. We're going to see in this video how to plot points of data. So we have here on the right of the screen a set of supposed scientific data that has been these are the results of an experiment, and we want to display those results in a graph, and that's what we're going to see how to do. We're going to split the process into two separate stages. The first stage is to enter the data into Mathematica's memory, and then we're going to do the actual plotting. You don't have to do it in two steps though, you can combine them into one. The disadvantage is that you don't have the data stored separately to be able to refer to it later, and that's going to become a useful feature for us, so we are going to separate it out. We're going to enter the data into Mathematica's memory, and then we're going to plot it. So how do we enter data into Mathematica's memory? Well, we have to enter in a list, because we've got a list here of 4 points that we want to enter, and we're going to give it a name. We'll give it a name so that we can refer back to it later. We could call it anything, just like with the plots. I'm going to be boring and call it data, but you don't have to be. You can call it anything. You can call it Esmeralda if you want, but we write in the name and then equals, and then start entering the actual data. Now, as I said, it's a list of points, a list of 4 points, so we start it with a brace. And incidentally, this could have been done also with the list command. We could have typed list with a capital letter and a square bracket and then proceeded, or in place of list square bracket we can do a brace. Either of those is equivalent. So we started our list for 4 points. Now we want to enter in the first point, which is two numbers, 0 and 15. So that point is a list. So to enter 0, 15, I have to do brace 0, 15, close the brace, and that's the first point in the list. We put a comma and then start the next point in the list, which is again its own list, which is 0.5, 20. Close that off. That's the second point in our list. Then 1, 35, third point in the list, and 1.5, 60 is the last point in the list. That's entered. I have to close off the list, so I have to close it with a brace. If I'd used list square bracket at this point, I'd have to close off with a square bracket. So now I'm going to enter that data into Mathematica's memory with Shift Enter, and now it's stored permanently in Mathematica's memory. It knows the name data is a reserved name, and it's linked it to this object here. So now the interesting thing, we want to plot that and see it on a graph. The command for plotting a list of points is listplot, and listplot is a double word command, but when it's a single command we write it all as one word with no spaces, but we distinguish the multiple words by writing them with capital letters. So the first word is list, capital L-I-S-T, and then plot. And because it's a single command, there's no space, so we then type plot, and that's our command. Now it's a list plot of the data above, so square bracket, and now we type the name of the data that we've entered. Oops. And we're ready to go. I Shift Enter and a graph will appear. Now it's not perfect. It's got a couple of deficiencies. One, the points are rather small. That actually might be what you want, in which case you leave it alone, but generally we like our points a little bit more obvious than these, and we may want to change the colour. We might not like this dark bluish greyish colour that we have. And the other thing we definitely want to change is we'd need some labels on these axes. These axes represent something. They represent time and height. So we'd want to indicate that to the reader. We'd also like to tell the reader what the units are, and all of that can be done with the axis label commands. The changing of the styling of the dots can be done with a plot style option, all of which are entered inside list plot. Exactly how to do that is the subject of the next video. And also, incidentally, we'll see how to add a label, a title to this graph as well. All of that and what we've just done here is contained in the course notes. So if you go to page 26 of the course notes, you'll see all of these instructions given there also. Okay, thank you.